Good afternoon to all. This is Steve from MPharm, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmacology from SnsCollege of Pharmacy. From today we discuss about the topic of protein binding of drugs. Shortly we define what is protein binding of drugs. The complex formation of drug is also known as protein binding of drugs. Based on the protein binding, it's essentially classified into two sections like intracellular binding and extracellular bindings. Okay. Next, what are the classification we see? Next is about the mechanisms. What are the mechanisms that are present in the protein binding of drugs? Mechanisms like the binding of the binding of wall of the drugs to the proteins are irreversible and reversible. Both we are present in the protein binding of the drugs. Reversibles involves with next first is about the reversible and the second is about irreversible. First is about the reversible. So based on the reversible compounds with involves with hydrogen bond, hydrophobic bond, van der Waals force, and the last one is ionic bonds, and follow to move towards with irreversible drugs. The irreversible drugs are binding towards move with the covalent bond. Okay. Next is about the binding of drugs to the blood compounds in the plasma. Protein binding of drugs, binding of drugs to the blood compounds. Based on the binding of the drugs to the blood compounds, such as it's essentially classified into plasma proteins and the blood cells. Based on the plasma proteins, the binding of the drugs are produced as a reversible. Okay. Next is about blood cells. Based on we all of you know blood cells like RBC and WBC. Based on the RBC, comprises of three models, essentially such as hemoglobin, cell membrane, and carbonic anhydrase. Okay, continuing the section, protein binding of the drugs. Based on the protein binding of the drugs, next we see about the mechanism of actions. What are the mechanism of action in protein binding of drugs? Based on the direct absorption, free drugs in plasma. They are based on the direct absorption, interact with free drugs in plasma. The free drugs in plasma enhance protein drugs in plasma, and the plasma proteins. The free drugs based on the free drugs in plasma enhance and moves towards the receptors, and the receptors enhance. There are maximum response on the therapeutic side. Next is about protein drugs in plasma. In protein drugs in plasma, the receptors can bind and interact with the plasma proteins in the protein bindings, and there is no therapeutic response in protein binding of drugs. There is no therapeutic response of drug in protein binding. Drugs in protein binding. These are the mechanisms of action which are enhanced to move towards the protein binding of drugs. Okay. Next, we see about what are the factors affecting significance of protein binding of drugs. Like this, factors affecting. Based on the factors affecting, it enhances based on the following types, such as types like concentration of drugs, based on the study of factors affecting protein binding of drugs, such as concentration of a drug, to the concentration of the drug rate, concentration of a drug weight, therapeutic response, next patient related factors with with the drugs. These are four of the factors of significance of protein binding of the drugs. Okay. These are all the study of protein binding of drugs. We see. Lastly, we see what are the studies lastly we see what are the classifications, intracellular, extracellular, what are the mechanisms we see, mechanism of actions, to classes, what are the classes elements in the protein binding of the drugs, mechanisms, and the last one is factors affecting. Okay, these are the concepts we study with the concept of protein binding of the drugs. Okay, thank you.